Alrighty, so I know a lot of you are getting a little anxious or nervous about your essay, and maybe you don't know really what to do first. You have your outline, but it's just kind of, it feels overwhelming. For some of you, it might be your first really, really big essay. So I want to show you some examples and show you how to do this. So I wrote this example actually, you can see like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, using the same topic that I've been using all along as we demonstrate, how to do an introduction and all that. It's the 4-day schoolwork. It's a little ironic now, but this was the example I said. So I have my hook sentence. Imagine a school board and superintendent being happy that students only came to school 4 days a week. That's my hook, right? Then I have my fluff. The very idea seems crazy. Typically, people within the school system push students to be present and ready every day. But maybe there's a way for students to be successful without being at school 5 days a week. The only catch is that students would spend more daily hours at school in order to make up for time lost on Fridays. So, all of that information I call fluff because if I took it out, this paper would still make sense. It didn't give me a whole lot of details, but it did support my hook. And then I have my thesis statement that we worked with the other day, all highlighted. Students should switch to 4-day weeks because it would save the school system money, student attendance rates would increase, and parents would not have to struggle with daycare costs. So this is my hook or my introductory paragraph. And based on this and the rubric that I have in another video, that would be considered a perfect intro. Notice it's not a full page long or anything like that, but it meets the criteria. So then my next paragraph, I'm going to give some general information, which I refer to in my rubric as well. But you have to assume that maybe the average person doesn't know what you're talking about. And some people don't know about how the school day works or the hours there and how a school year is set up. So I give my general information. It's important to remember that fewer school days each week does not necessarily mean fewer instructional hours for the students. In order for a school system to shift to a 4-day week, each school day would need to be longer. Students currently attend school between the hours of 7:54 a.m. and 3:06 p.m. I wrote this as I was at Murphy High School, and that's their hours. Just under 6 of those hours are dedicated to classroom instruction each day, with the remaining time being set aside for lunch and homeroom. In order to make up for missed instructional time, each school day would need to be elongated by approximately 88 minutes, resulting in a school day with working hours of 7:53 a.m. to 4:34 p.m. during the 4 days of school. So notice I'm setting up, giving background information. And then I have my research, my facts, stuff to support what I'm saying. If I just say it's going to save the school system money, I have to have something to back it up. Especially if you're talking about money, people need proof. So if your topic has to do with that, for sure. So many proponents of a shorter school week have found it saves school systems an abundance of money. The average school spends approximately $1.25 per square foot in utilities to keep the building usable and running for students. The utilities factored into that cost include heating and air, electric, water, refrigeration, etc. With those estimates, an 800,000 square foot mid-sized school district paid more than $1 million in one school year. And to put it into a more tangible and realistic perspective, according to Cherokee County Central Office, Murphy High School is 75,243 square feet. That means that it costs the taxpayers an estimated $94,053.75 in utilities to run Murphy High School each year. Now, that does not mean that that's what our county's paying. I'm saying based on this information here, that one article said with our school being this size, that's like an average or an estimate. It could be very different for Cherokee County. But One of the first things I want to draw your eyes to is you have to have quotes in your paper. And I told you you have to have them properly punctuated and cited. So a quote is where I got this sentence right here, this thing that's in lime green in between quotes, directly from a website. And I copy and pasted it and put it in my article, in my essay. And some of you are saying, Miss Bennett, that's plagiarism. No, it is not. Plagiarism is if you don't give credit to who actually wrote it. So I put it in quotes to show that it is not my words. I did not write this, I took it from something else. And then in parentheses, I have to say where I got it, where I got the information. And I know you're looking at that going, what do you mean schools and school districts? That was actually the name of the website, as you'll see at the bottom. So I put the website. I do not want to see the URL in quotations. I'm going to show you a trick for this in a minute. But let's move on. So I put all my research in here. You can see I've got another set of quotes. Again, this time it's got the author's name and the year it was written. There is a website I'm going to show you in 1 second that will literally tell you what you need to have in quotes each time. So you don't have to try and figure it out. What you need to make sure you do is that if you are pulling something from the internet, it's in quotations and it's cited. And I say if you are pulling something, but you need to have quotes in your paper that is on the rubric. So that is important to do. Notice I have researched throughout my entire essay. I'm able to back up what I'm saying. I'll post this example on the page. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but if you want to look through it, go for it. I'll post it. So I give all this information, where I got it, and everything. And then I come down to my conclusion paragraph that has to have a summary and then your mic drop ending, right? And I said, switching to a 4-day school week seems like a no brainer. Schools would save money, which may even lead to taxpayers spending less. If taxes did not decrease, the money could be used elsewhere: bonuses, facilities repair, instructional materials, etc. Students would be able to be present for more instructional time because they could schedule trips and appointments on Fridays. Parents would be happier because they could save on daycare costs. In general, switching to a 4-day school week would make everyone happier. How can anyone say no to saving money? Maybe it's time we started saying yes to a richer future. That's my mic drop sentence there, right? Also, it's important too. Let me see if I can find one of the examples I have. But I put in here that you need to have counter arguments, right? So, like, my final argument here is that parents wouldn't have to worry about daycare expenses. And I anticipated that people would ask about, well, what do you mean they don't have daycare? They still have this. So I put in the cost, and then I talk about how kids would be at home later in the day. So most parents are out of work, and parents would only need to um, they could use after school for a shorter time and save expenses on that. So I anticipated what people would say, and try and counteract that. So now that brings me down to the works cited page. That's that part I told you about, right? And I have my sources right here. And it probably looks funny to many of you because you would think, well, you just need to put a list with all your website addresses. No. If you put a list of the website addresses, you will lose points on your project because you need to have them properly cited. And I know that's terrifying to think of. Like, how do I do that? So let me show you. There is a website that is a miracle worker. So you're going to go to Google and type in citation machine. And the very first thing is citationmachine.net. When you click on it, it might have ads for you to have to watch in order to get this for free, but it's really not difficult. So you're going to click Create Citations. We don't need to check your paper, though you can later too. There's also free plagiarism checks. So let's see. Let's pretend This is actually one of the sources I used in my paper, right? So I found this website. I've got a bunch of great information. Now I need to cite it. So I'm going to copy my URL. This is why I told you to write down your website, that I could make it so much faster if you wrote down your website. And it was a website. So I click website. That's my source. It's moving slower because I'm trying to screencast too. And you get this pop-up right here, right? It says website. You could change at any time if it was a book or a journal or newspaper video, but this is a website. And I'm just going to paste in my website address, right? And hit search. And it's thinking. It tells me hang tight. Sometimes it takes a second, but look, it says they found a result. Chronic absenteeism in the nation's schools. Well, hot dog. That's exactly what I used. So I'm going to say, yes, cite. This is the correct one. Now, it's going to then take me, as it does this, hold up. It's going to take me to a page to check and make sure that everything's included. So they're telling me we found this is the title of the article, this is the URL, the website title, and the day you went to it, which obviously I didn't go this date, but I'm not going to be that picky about the date. And then they're saying, but when was it published? So I'm going to hit continue. So this is the problem. There's tons of ads, but that's okay. It's a free site. Sometimes it'll tell you need to watch an ad in order to continue on, but it's not bad. So it's going to ask me who is the author of this page. And really, it doesn't appear to have an author. That is okay. Some of your websites will have an author. You've seen articles, some won't. So I'm going to leave it blank. I'm going to check and make sure what day was it published, it wasn't on there, whatever it might be. And when I'm done, I'm going to hit complete citation. And it's thinking again. I think yours will not move quite this slow. Mine is because I'm trying to record my screen at the same time, so my computer is bogged down trying to figure out what to do. It also, as it's loading my citation, it automatically wants to put in an APA 6. But if you click on it, let's see, does it let me choose which one? Just click on MLA instead. But let's see if it'll do it. Maybe. Here we go. It's creating. Here's my citation, right? I can hit copy citation and then go in and paste it into my essay completely at the bottom, exactly as it needs to be. If you want, if you have all of your sources ready, you can just hit, which one is it? Create citation, do another one before you copy. And once you have them all in there, it will put your whole list in alphabetical order for you. And you can tell it to copy the entire list. But remember, when I showed you the quotes and I said, you need to know what to put in the quotes, but I can make it easy. If I hit copy in-text citation, it's going to tell me what to put in there. Now, in this case, normally, this is your first choice. If there's no contributors, that's your second choice. There you go. That's what goes in the parentheses. So it's going to give you 3 choices, and it's in order of preference. If you don't have this, then you got to go by this. And you just copy and paste it right after your quote. So now you should have seen how to do citation machine. I've shown you how to do quotes within your paper, and I have shown you a sample essay. So I'll post this again on the page, and that should help you, and good luck as you get typing your essay.